Hey everyone, so today I have a different type of tutorial for you guys. Today I'm going to be showing you how I decorated these mason jars. I think that these would be perfect for like Christmas, birthday, even if you wanted to use it for yourself, you could throw some candles in there, or maybe even some makeup brushes, and they have different sizes, so yeah, you can do so many things with mason jars, and you can decorate them and yeah, give them your own little personal touch. So before we get started, there's just a few things that you are going to need. You are going to need some mason jars. I got mine from Walmart for like 10 bucks for like 12 of them. You'll need some ribbon. I got this from Michael's. This is what I'll actually be using. It was on sale, 50% off. You'll need a hot glue gun, some painter's tape, some cloth, Mod Podge, glitter, and a sponge to apply the Mod Podge with, as well as some accessories. You will also need some spray paint, your choice in color, some finishing spray, and a ruler. So starting out, you're just going to want to take off that top and clean your jar. This is just some alcohol that I put in a little spray bottle, and I'm just going to wipe that down quickly just with a lint-free wipe. Then I'm going to take my ruler and measure about 1 inch from the bottom, and to mark that I'm just going to be using a permanent marker, and yeah, just go on each side of the ruler and just make 2 small dots. And yeah, I just did this all the way around my jar. I think I did this 4 times just so I can get that tape as even as possible. So after you got that all measured out, you're just going to want to take your tape and then just go slightly above those dots and then work your way all the way around the jar. But don't do what I did, and you know, as you'll be able to see, is I just took an orange wood stick with some cotton and then I kind of wiped up the dots as I went along. I found out that that was a mistake. So just go and lay your tape down. Just make sure before you start spraying your jar that you go and get all those dots up and everything. But you don't even necessarily even have to use a ruler and do what I did. You can just eyeball it up and it works just as well. But I'm doing this as a gift, so I wanted to make sure everything, looked, as decent as I could possibly get it. So yeah, you're just going to want to tape all the way around your jar and just make sure those seams match up nicely, because yeah, you'll be able to tell once when you start painting your jar if it didn't line up nicely. So now I'm just going to repeat the same steps all the way up to the top of my jar. And when you get to the top part of the jar, don't worry about the top part of your tape, because that doesn't matter. We'll be covering that up with ribbon. Just make sure that the bottom is nice and straight and everything like that, and the seams match up. And also make sure that you go through and press all the tape down firmly to the glass and make sure there's no bubbles. So now I'm just going to take a piece of paper and I'm going to cut that up in about 4 strips, and they're going to be about 1 inch wide strips. And then I'm just going to take one of those strips, rip it in half, since it didn't cover, didn't go all the way around the jar. And the reason why I'm doing this is just because when I do this next step, I want to be able to secure it to make sure no glitter gets on that part of the jar, not as much glitter. But I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I'm just going to add a layer of that glue down, and then I'm going to start putting on some of that glitter. And make sure you put a piece of paper down below this, because yeah, it's going to let a lot of glitter loose, and yeah, you want to save as much of that glitter as you possibly can. So yeah, as you can see, that's what I just did. I'm going to tap off the excess, and then when that has dried, I am going to go in with another layer of Mod Podge and glitter, because yeah, you could still see through it, but yeah, you live and you learn. And for the second coat, I went just a little bit thicker with it just so I could get better coverage. And then after I had laid the glitter down, I added another layer of Mod Podge just to seal everything in, and then I took off all that paper. And After, you know, the Mod Podge is dried, then you're just going to take another strip of piece, you know, you're going to take that third strip of paper and you're just going to wrap that just so you can secure that before you start spraying your mason jar. And I also went the extra mile and I just taped up the seams because I did a jar before and it didn't work out so well. So I just wanted to, you know, cover my rear and make sure no spray paint got underneath that. So now I'm going to take my spray paint. I'll be using, it's like a beige, tan color, whatever. And all you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to spray in back and forth motion and don't stop, and make sure that you get, and then that way you'll make sure that you get an even coverage. So I waited a few hours for it to dry and added a second coat, waited for that to dry, and then here I am taking off all the tape and paper, everything. You're going to want to take off everything because you're going to be sealing what you just created. So now I have my matte finishing spray, and just like you did with the color, you're just going to want to go and spray back and forth and make sure that it's even. So this is my jar so far, and as you can see the top part isn't even, but that's okay because like I said, we'll be covering that up with ribbon. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it, wrap it around to measure it, and then just cut it, you know, as I go. And I'm going to make 3 strips of this, and then I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm just going to start placing that down. And you don't have to add as much hot glue as I did. I kind of OD'd with it, but you know, like I said before, this is for a gift, so I want to make sure everything, you know, is secured. So yeah, I kind of went crazy with it, but you know, it should last for a while, I can tell you that. So yeah, I'm just gonna work my way all the way, yeah, until the seams meet up, and then I'm gonna repeat the same step 2 more times. And what I actually didn't mention is that, you know, the front of my jar, I did it to where the writing was at. So I made where my seams are at, I made them onto the side of the jar, and you'll see why in this next step. Okay, so now I have my little flower, and I'm just going to rip off that little twist tie that is on there so it's a flat surface. And then where all those seams meet up, I'm just going to add some glue onto there, or, you know, with my hot glue gun. And I'm just going to press that down just for a few seconds. This stuff does dry pretty fast, so you don't have to hold it too long. But yeah, and that wasn't the end of it. I decided that I wanted to go with a distressed look, so I just took my nail file and then I just went around, yeah, my jar and just started beating it up. Where there's raised parts of the jar, I just went through and scratched that out, as well as kind of like on the corners of it, and I'm using quotation because it's not really a corner because it's a round jar, but you know, kind of know what I mean. So yeah, just do it to however you want and just scratch it up a little bit and make it look old. So now for the top part, this is where that where the piece of cloth comes in. You're just going to want to cut it to fit the top of your jar. Take some more of that Mod Podge and just go thinly in with it. You don't want to goop it on or anything because it's not a thick fabric. You're just going to want to get a nice thin coat, and then place the fabric on top of it and press down and make sure you get, you know, on the seams of it, and yeah, really get it in there and make sure it's nice and secure. And then I'm going to take my hot glue gun, and on the inside of my cap I'm just going to add some glue and then flip that upside down and then press it down firmly, and then you got your cap all done. And so this is my finished product. You can leave it as it is, you can put some candles in it, or you can do what I did. What I did is I just took some cotton balls, I just put them on the bottom and then smushed them down. As you can see, it was a little bit too much for me, so I took a few out and then just repeated the same step. And then I also had a bunch of leftovers that I gotten from my Ipsy and Birchbox bags, and yeah, so I'm just gonna put all these, and yeah, they're perfect because they're little mini samples. So yeah, I thought they go perfect in with, you know, the jar. So I'm just gonna start packing everything in there. And the reason why I added cotton down at the bottom is because there is nail polish, and I think there's like a few perfume samples too in there, and they're glass, so I didn't want any of that to break. So yeah, that's basically just to kind of cushion it and everything. So yeah, I'm just going to shove all that stuff in there and pack it in nice and tightly. And then when I get everything in there, I'm going to just take some more cotton balls, and then I'm going to pack that in at the top because I don't want nothing to be shaking around. Like I said, there is glass, so I want minimal movement in there. So yeah, I'm just going to shove a bunch of cotton on there, and then you'll see me actually shaking it up just to test it. And yeah, it was perfect. And then you're just going to add your lid and be done with it. And then the second option that you have is I got these guys right here. I got these from Michael's. I think they cost like $4 for this little bag, but I'm just going to put all those at the bottom of it and then just add some of my makeup brushes, and voila, and you got yourself a cute little thing that you made yourself. So yeah, this is, you know, my finished product for you guys. I hope you guys like it. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and as usual, I'll see you in my next video.